All right, let's get right into it. We're all using tools like ChatGPT these days for everything, right? Writing, brainstorming, communicating. But there's a big question hanging over all of it. How do we use it without sounding, well, like a robot? We're going to break down how you can use AI to make your true voice even louder instead of losing it altogether. You know the feeling, don't you? You get a message and yeah, all the right words are there. Hope you're doing well, just thinking of you. But something's off. It feels totally flat, empty. Kind of like getting a birthday card from your bank. So, what tipped you off? What was the giveaway? Well, that little alarm bell that went off in your head is because you're basically wired to spot what's real and what's not. And that instinct, that is the key to everything we're about to talk about. Okay, so if we want our messages to actually land, to really connect with people, we have to start thinking about these AI tools in a completely different way. And that brings us to the first big idea here. What is ChatGPT really for?
This right here, this is the whole game. So many of us get obsessed with finding the perfect phrase or the most eloquent sentence, but we forget what actually matters. Real connection, it doesn't come from a perfect vocabulary. It comes from someone feeling the real you on the other side.
So here's the mental shift we need to make. The old way, the way that leads to those fake-sounding texts, is thinking that ChatGPT is your voice. But that's where we go wrong. The new way, the better way, is to see ChatGPT as your megaphone. It doesn't create the message, it just amplifies the one you already have.
And I love this quote because it just nails it. Your feelings, your actual thoughts, the fact that you genuinely care, that's the song. And if you don't bring that song to the microphone, there's literally nothing to amplify. You can't broadcast something you aren't singing in the first place.
And that is exactly why those fake messages feel so weird and off-putting. The person who sent it is using a powerful megaphone to broadcast, well, silence. It just makes the lack of real emotion that much more obvious, that much louder. So the real first step always is to bring your heart to the table.
All right, so we get it. We need to start with something real, something authentic, but what does that actually look like when you're staring at a blank text box? So let's walk through a super simple 3-step process to make sure the messages you send are genuinely yours.
So how do we actually do this? How do we make sure we're singing into the microphone instead of just, holding it up and hoping music magically comes out? It's way easier than you think, I promise. Here it is, just 3 steps. It all starts with your heart. Then you tell the AI the truth about what you're trying to do. And finally, and this is the most important part, you check what it gives you back against your heart. Let's break each of those down. So step 1 means you just pause. Before you type a single word into ChatGPT, you pause and ask yourself, what do I really, truly want this person to feel from me right now? Or what is the one thing I honestly care about in this moment? You got to find that core feeling first. Okay, now you take that feeling and you tell ChatGPT what it is. Be totally direct. Don't just say, write a nice email. No, tell it the why. Say, write this in a way that feels genuine and encouraging because I really care about this person. Or help me sound supportive. My friend is going through a really tough time. You're giving the tool your actual intention. So you've given the AI your real intention, and boom, it spits something out. But you're not done. You absolutely cannot just copy and paste. And that brings us to what is, without a doubt, the most important step in this whole process. You have to be the final filter. Read what it gave you and ask that one simple question, does this actually sound like me? And if there's even a single word that feels off, change it. If a sentence is too stuffy, make it more you. This is the moment you take ownership of the message and make it yours. You are the quality control for your own heart. So let's pull all this together. Because when you start doing this, when you follow this process, something really cool happens. That fear of sounding fake, it goes away. And this is the biggest myth we need to bust. The tool isn't what makes things sound fake. It's using the tool without any real intention behind it. When you lead with what's actually true for you, the AI stops being a fakeness generator and starts being a partner in expressing your truth. It helps you say what you mean, but better. Maybe you're not great with words, but you feel this huge sense of gratitude for a coworker. Well, if you tell ChatGPT that, it can help you find language that's not only clear, but feels even more authentic, because it finally matches the true depth of what you were feeling inside. Okay, so let's lock in the big ideas. First, remember, ChatGPT is here to amplify your voice, not replace it. Second, if your heart isn't in it, trust me, people can tell. Third, real, authentic communication is just a mix of 3 things: honesty, care, and clarity. And finally, this means AI can be an incredible tool for real human connection, not just for churning out content. So I'm going to leave you with this final thought. The next time you go to write anything, an email, a text, whatever, just stop for 1 second. Ask yourself this question first. Figure out what that song is inside of you. And then, only then, should you pick up the microphone and let everyone hear it.